Well, I have him here. I've been tracking him down basically because I couldn't find him, and I was finally able to locate him. I'm talking about Romeo Mystic. That's right. Romeo, how are you?
I'm okay. It's a pleasure. I didn't know you were tracking me down, so it makes it even better now doing the interview.
Listen, I'm gonna get to that a little bit more later. I'll tell you why I used the word tracking you down. But hey, how have you been dealing with this weather here in New York?
Well, it's been really tough for me. It's been messing around with my voice. I kind of, I tried my best to perform at the shows. My voice kind of gave up on me like for the last two shows, but it was good. The overall experience is nice, but I don't like the weather. I'll be frank with you. I don't like it. Yeah.
I don't blame you. I mean, if you're just visiting and to have to deal with these types of these numbers, and that's pretty hard. And then a blizzard on top of that. So I take it you didn't get to have any snowball fights, and you didn't get to make a snowman.
No, I went in the snow to take some pics, and that was it. I didn't, go into the snowball thing and these kind of things, because I'm now learning about it, so maybe like next time, or if I get accustomed to it, but not for now. And I don't really like the snow either, because it looks so dirty when it gets slushy.
You know what? Yeah, I was gonna invite you to go to have a snowball fight now, but it is very, very dirty. So we're gonna wait for the next blizzard. So although I don't think we're gonna see you here next time there's a blizzard. Because you don't really like this weather, and I don't blame you.
Right.
So, a total of 5 shows successfully completed in 2 consecutive weekends. Overall, would you rate it how would you rate that on a scale from 1 to 10?
I would rate it like 9. The fans and the performances and everything were great. I just had a little problem with the venues. They were a bit too small, and the sound, like at some stages, at some part of the shows, the song was very, very poor. I didn't make it public or anything because I didn't want anybody feeling bad or so, but I'm talking about it now, right? I'm talking about it now, and it as we would say, it kills your vibe as an artist, and you're on stage and getting feedback and these kind of thing. It kills your vibe, but I just acted professionally and dealt with it, man. But I rated like 9. It was good for my first time here. Really, really good.
Well, 9 is pretty high, and the problem with the sound, like, so what, you can't really hear yourself on stage? Because I experienced something similar to that. I had to host an event, and I couldn't hear myself, and I couldn't hear my co-host, and I was basically I was trying to read his lips at that point. It was very frustrating, so I just basically got off stage.
Yeah, that's it. Kind of throws you off on what you want to do, because you don't have to be studying stuff like that. You're supposed to be just out there doing what you went out there to do, and not focusing on how the monitors sound and these kind of things. The engineers and these people are supposed to be taking care of that. You understand? So when you up there now and gotta focus on these kind of thing, and you gotta like be scared to move on to this corner of the stage because you might get feedback here and this kind of thing, it just throws you off. And then the stages were a bit too small, because me, I being me, I like to incorporate the people in my performances. I never like to let the people feel like I'm up there and they're down here. I like to get them on the same level with me. So I would get them on stage, and these kind of things. Well, the stages were so small. I had to take myself out of the performance and just let the couple people that I call and do what I wanted them to do. So, but it was all good, man. It was really nice. Yeah.
Yes, the fans loved it, and I don't think they. One person did post about the stage. I read a post that said, something to the effect of, "You came all the way here. The least they could have given him was a bigger stage," or something like that. I didn't realize it was a big problem, because you're pretty small, so you look like you fit comfortably on stage. But next time.
But I do big work on stage, so you gotta get a big stage.
So do you normally move around a lot lot though on stage?
Yeah. I do that. I'm mostly of a reggae singer, right? So I wouldn't be like jumping up on these kind of things, but I do move on the stage.
Yeah.
I do like to have people on the stage with me, having fun. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And you feel better when you have a bigger stage to work on. You feel more comfortable. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you feel a lot better.
So besides the size of the stage and the sound system, if you could change anything else from those 2 weekends, what would it be?
I would have asked for some bigger venues because except I think for one show they had to turn back people from like 4 venues. They had to turn back people, and the last venue, the last show, I heard they had to turn back almost like about 300 and odd people.
The last show, really?
Yeah. They had to turn back a lot of people. Yeah.
And what I'm surprised about is that I'm surprised because it snowed that day. It was bad weather, and still it was sold out.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I feel like that's like unheard of. You know. Let's see here. Someone. Okay, here's a different question. So I told you I had to track you down, right, earlier?
Yeah.
So here's why. Someone contacted me a couple days ago to ask what happened to Mystic. And so, I look at the message, and so I'm like, what do you mean, what happened to Mystic? And so I got a little bit nervous. And so the individual said that, they were chatting with you, and then all of a sudden your Facebook disappeared. So you're no longer on Facebook. So I said, okay, I'll inquire.
Yeah.
And I see that you're perfectly fine. You're here with me now. But where did your Facebook go? Were you hacked?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know if someone hacked into my Facebook or what, but we're trying to rectify that. Presently speaking, we are waiting on a reply from Facebook to let me know if I could get in back to my Facebook, because apparently somebody's been using the account or they hacked into it. I don't know really what is the issue, but we tried this morning. They asked for some ID. We sent we had to take a pic of my passport, and we sent it in, and I'm just hoping that it could be rectified and I could get back my Facebook, because I'm very worried and I have a lot of fans there.
Yes, your fans are worried. They're like, what happened? Because that's so weird. I don't think that, okay, so no. One good thing is they're not posting things on your behalf. It just looks as if the Facebook no longer exists. Unless they plan to do that, I don't know. But I hope that you get that fixed as soon as possible. But if you don't mind, I'd like to put something out tonight that tells everyone that you're okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about food. What kind of foods have you been eating since you've been here in New York?
Well, I've been having a lot of fast food, like Wendy's and the McDonald's. Well, I kind of like the McDonald's thing, but we've been having a lot of Guyanese food as well. A lot of Guyanese food from a lot of Guyanese food from these places, the Guyanese cook shop, a lot of cook up and regular Guyanese thing. Like the other day I went in a cook shop, I can't remember the name, but I had bacon choker and roti. That is my favorite. I like to make bacon choker. I even make it better than my mom. So when I'm
Wait, does she think that? Does your mom?
Yeah, she knows that. She knows that because when I'm home by her in Georgetown, right? Because I live in Barbies.
Yeah.
Whenever I come in town to be by her, whenever we have to make bacon choker, she always give me that. That duty, because I could make it better than her.
You're the choker guy.
Yeah.
But okay, so tomato choker is similar the way you make it. Do you also make that?
Well, I would say I incorporate both because my bacon choker got a lot of tomato inside. So, and I make nice roti as well. So my mom would, she would step aside when I come in town, so I would make roti as well.
Really?
Yeah.
I know that you're still getting used to the temperature, the weather, and we're sitting here right now, and listeners, he has gloves on and we're indoors, so And so he is not, Romeo Mystic is not very happy with this, with the weather right now, and I don't blame you at all. Listen, you could borrow these Uggs though, they keep you very, very, very warm. I don't know that they'll fit. Let's see. So you've been getting a lot of attention. So far from both males and females, tremendous amount of attention. What keeps you so grounded, though?
I just like being real and being me. I expect the attention because what I do. Music. You always have a lot of following, and you basically that's what you do it for, to get fans, and the fans is what make you an artist, right? I'm good though with all the extra added attention. It's cool. I just being natural, talk to people in a nice way that I always do, and keep it that way, and stay focused on what I have to do. Music. I gotta keep writing and gotta keep bringing songs and bringing hits to keep the fans happy. So that's my main focus.
And that's why we love you so much. You are truly amazing, truly humble, and you don't, it doesn't seem like anything's getting to your head. The attention isn't getting to your head. What is a typical day like for Mystic? You're in Guyana. What is a typical, let's say Monday? What's a typical Monday like for you?
Well, that would depend where I am in Guyana. If I'm in Georgetown, I'll be by my mom. Just wake up, regular, just brush your teeth, just there around the yard, and help mommy cook maybe, eat, and then I'll go in the studio at Brutal Tracks. Be in the studio like all day, and go back home like till in the evening like 9-10 o'clock. But if I'm in Blackbush, I would wake up because I live by myself there. I would cook, and if I got work to do in the back dam, I would go in the back dam because I plant rice. If I don't have anything to do in the back dam, I just go and hang out, or maybe go and play some cricket or something, But we have a lot of free time in Guyana, or I might do some work in my little farm that I'm setting up. And so that's it. It's like a holiday, man. We just having fun in Guyana.
And that's what I miss about Guyana. So my next question was going to be about fun. What do you do for fun? So you do have friends there when you're in Blackbush, and you go out and you chill with them, basically.
Yeah, we would go on the beach, the 63 beach. That's one of my favorite places. I like to go to the horse race, and I would go. I like cricket as well. Whenever they have cricket, and so I would go. But that's me. I like to be home most of the time though. I'm not a big party fan. But I would go to the regular like wedding house thing, that would have in Blackbush and Barbies, the regular wedding house
and
thing.
And screw some light bulbs?
Yep. Yep. That's like my fun time. Right? That's the fun that I would have.
That's Guyana kind of fun.
Yeah,
That's what I miss about Guyana. I love that stuff. There's no craziness, It's just, you're hanging out with close friends, you're hanging out with family, and you're just having good old-fashioned fun.
Yeah.
That's it. Love it. Yeah. Now, tell me about your childhood. Let's start off with some of your memorable moments as a child.
Well, I have some very nice moments like with my dad. He would take me and my sister in the back dam, and he would go and pick this kind of fruit that I don't really know the name, but it's something that used to grow wild about the place. But he used to pick it for us because, well, it was a very nice thing. It was sweet, right? Okay. But he used to go across this big trench to go and pick it for us, and he would go, and he liked music as well, but he didn't really, and I never really, hear him sing, but he used to like to blow whistle. So he would blow this nice sweet whistle for me and my sister. Those were some very nice, memorable moments for me, like with growing up. But then after that, my dad died, so things weren't that. The memorable moments are things that I don't really like talking about. So yeah. things went differently.
Yes.
Yep.
And so that brings me to my next question. Your not so memorable moments, and of course you don't have to talk about that.
Yeah, well, that's basically like when the day when my dad got shot, when the police shot him up and so. I was there. I saw him, but from like hearing the big folks saying stuff, he wasn't dead as yet when I went. But I thought he was dead because his eyes were closed. So being a small child, I thought he was dead. So I always kept saying maybe I could have gotten to say something to him before he died, but that was my luck. So some rough things, man. Yeah.
I'm very sorry about that again.
Yeah.
What's something that gets you very, very angry?
I hate like when people would accuse me of doing stuff that I have no idea of. That basically accusing you of being a liar. I totally dislike that. That would trigger me off, and I would get really, really angry. Because I am a person, I like to be honest and open with people, and as much as possible, right? And I don't like people, if they hear something about me, they should at least ask me before they go and make all the assumptions and everything, or do some research or something before you come to me. Don't jump at me just like that, and and I think that would get any normal human being angry. I think stuff like that. Yeah,
absolutely. And yes, that's what makes you angry, people saying lies basically about you.
Yeah.
But speaking of lies, I heard you had some immigration issues coming here for this trip. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, well, that was crazy. The officer kind of like, he told me to go one side, and from where the other people was, and they started to search my stuff, and apparently they were looking for some kind of illegal substance or something, and that was really messed up. And as the trip went on, I found out it was a guy that we actually knew, as a Guyanese. He was trying to cripple the whole trip, the whole mystic movement. He was just trying to let the trip don't happen, maybe like get deported or something. But I live a clean life. Music is what I do, and I do farming. I don't do any other illegal stuff. I might write some illegal lyrics.
Ken Taylor, what should we know about Ken Taylor?
Well, he's a very cool guy, a very humble individual. We actually started to grow musically. We became friends, and then we grew into the music actually around the same time, because he started out at Brutal Tracks, at the studio where I record. He started out like 2 months before I went there, so he was young into his engineering stuff, and then I came, and I was definitely green and young in my writing and vocals and everything. So we actually, that's how we grew and became friends as well, as we learned our craft. And so we more like we're cool now, we're friends, we're more like family now, and that's how it is now. We comfortable with each other. We just rub, like we would say rub, in meaning like we just biss one another, like yeah, like jokes,
Yeah.
so rough jokes at one another and so on things, cause we cool with one another.
Yeah, that's when the bond is strong.
Yeah.
Did your stay here in New York inspire you to write any new songs, and have you written any since you've been here in New York?
Yeah, well, I've been I haven't written any as yet, but I've I came up with like about 4 different concepts. I'm working on melodies for them, so I think when I get back I would lay them down. Yeah, because it won't take me long to write. It's just that I don't have the time right now to focus on the writing so much, but it will work out as soon as I go home, because I don't really like write like with putting like a pen with paper on these stuff. I don't do that. I would just like build a melody in my head, and I would write the song in my head. That's how it is. And then I would go in the studio and just, if the guy, he make the track, and I would just record it like that. Or if I don't have the melody in my head but I have the lyrics, I would listen to the track and just put the lyrics down, like that. Maybe you have to be there to understand exactly what I'm saying, but I don't really write. None of my songs are written down anywhere.
I guess I don't understand it fully, but it sounds complicated. It sounds hard. I mean,
it's not hard.
That's I feel like you have a gene. That's not something you can teach someone to do. You either can or you can't.
Yeah, it's blessed. It's natural gift.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but then you still have to nurture that gift. So that's what I've been doing. Like, getting to know myself better, and know, like, we call it freestyling.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's basically it. We just like would freestyle and do this kind of stuff. So you as you go on into the music, you get comfortable with it, and even you would freestyle on stage and these kind of things. So it's all good, man. It's all nice.
That is amazing. That's amazing. I can't wait to hear your new stuff. I love all of your stuff that you've done so far. So I cannot wait for the new stuff. And I will definitely be following you, stalking you, tracking you. But listen, I read that you like to travel.
Yeah.
That's correct?
Yeah, but not by air. I don't like to travel by air. I like to drive. I like to be on land.
Okay.
Right? I was in London. Is the place named Paddington? Yeah, that was it. Yeah, it's a really, really nice place. Yeah.
I love London too. I wouldn't England. I wouldn't mind living there actually.
Yeah,
I was in Southall. The food though, they had did you try the shawarma there?
Well, let me when I stayed there like maybe for almost 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
But I just fruits. I was totally homesick, and that was the only thing I was eating, fruits. Apples and bananas and oranges. So I didn't really have any kind of food like
you didn't have like the typical English
food. No, because I was totally homesick. That was the first time I left Guyana.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever went into a plane. That was the first time for everything.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the weather, how is the weather? The weather is...
That was their summer.
Yeah.
But it was cold for me.
Of course.
It was weird because it had all these people wearing sort of short clothes because they were enjoying their summer. And me now in the midst of everything with my hoodie and all that, it was very cool for me. But it was good. I enjoyed it other than being homesick, because basically it was me and my manager alone. So I didn't really, had anyone to like talk to most of the time, because he is a businessman. He got his stuff to do.
Yeah.
I used to be mostly in my room.
Okay.
I was just looking at television, and just it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I like the place.
Did you do any sightseeing? You didn't get to do anything.
Yeah.
Did you go to the London Eye?
When we finished, So when we finished the show that I went there to do, we went and I kind of felt relaxed after the show. Mm-hmm. Because that was one of the reasons why I was a bit tense as well, because that was my first time working with a band.
Okay.
Right, so that was a different experience for me, and it had a lot of big artists, like established artists on the show. So I was kind of like pressured in doing good because I was representing Guyana. They chose me. It was a program so it was during the Olympics, right?
Okay.
So they had this program with this European Union. They were like exchanging talents from the Caribbean with Europe, some sort of thing like that.
Okay.
So they chose me from Guyana to represent Guyana, and it had like other people from the other islands.
Oh, I see.
And then it had like 2 established artists. They had this guy from Jamaica, Christopher Martin,
Okay.
and another soca singer from Barbados. So I was among big folks.
Absolutely.
And then had this guy from Barbados, so he's a jazz player as well. So it was big musicians. So it was kind of pressuring for me, but I did well at the show, and that made me really relax, and I felt really good about myself after that.
Boosted your confidence.
Yeah. So I went out, and we went and we went and do some sightseeing around London, and it was all good.
I have a funny story about Simatu. I tried to bring Simatu back from London, and they caught me.
Wow.
And for an entire year, I couldn't travel in peace.
Wow.
They would harass me.
Keep looking for some in your hand.
Yes. Okay, so will you come back to New York soon?
Yes, I would, but I would prefer to come when the summertime that they have here. I would prefer to come around that time when it's more relaxing for me.
Yes.
But now in the snow thing, I am not gonna come back and at least do shows.
Yes.
I wouldn't come. I would come back like to visit, but
it's harassing. I can imagine the traveling.
To do shows and in the cold condition is very, very hard on a vocalist.
Yes.
At least it have people might deal with it because they are accustomed to it, but being from a tropical place, it really messed with my voice, and it doesn't do me any good going on stage knowing that my voice might crack and so, because I hate that, because I like to do my thing,
your fans are depending on you, so you don't want to disappoint them. So I completely understand that. You just recently did a video, and I wasn't there, but how excited are you about the video? I didn't even know that video was going on. I saw I saw some Facebook pics about the video.
I'm just excited that they would do it properly. That's what I'm excited about. I'm not just excited for a video.
Right.
I'm just hoping that they do it properly. So because that's that's the impression that's gonna be there.
Yes.
Yeah, we can't change that. As long as it goes viral, that's what's gonna
How
be.
involved were you in this, though?
As
far as the decision making?
Well, I put it to my manager to deal with that.
Okay.
But that's it.
So you basically just showed up and they instructed you what to do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very excited. I can't wait to see it. You're in it. You're doing your thing. What song was this video for?
That was for the Coolie Boys.
The Coolie. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. All right. So quickly, I know that we have to go, but what can we expect from Mystic in the near future?
Just good stuff. Bigger stuff. More hit songs. Just look out for Mystic. Just taking the world by storm. I won't stop because the sky is my limit. I'll always keep writing, and I'll always be in my corner, humble as ever, doing my stuff and just making my fans happy every step of the way.
Well, I love your thought process. I love your humbleness. You're obviously super, super talented. Instead of just saying a goodbye, do you mind singing a few lines from, any song that you'd like as a goodbye?
Okay. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love. I know I'm in love, yeah, with the beautiful ladies, yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Awesome. That was fantastic.